I'll teach you everything you need to know about the Explorer window and hierarchy in 5 minutes. The Explorer window, which I have placed on the right over here, is what organizes everything in the game. These big boys you see over here, like Workspace, lighting, players, all of this stuff, all the way down to test service. These are what are known as services, and they control a certain aspect of the game. For example, the lighting, guess what? It controls the lighting. Wow, who would have thought? Let's take a look at Workspace right now. If you click the little triangle thing, you can see the things that are physically in the game, like this base plate I have, and also this regular part is in the game. And you see when I click on it, it selects it in the game. And if you remember in the last video, I told you to add it into the workspace. That's why I told you click the plus next to the workspace, because if you want anything to be seen in the game, it's going to go in the workspace. So we're going to be dealing with this a lot during this series. The player service, when a player joins the game, their player object, which is kind of like, I guess, their soul. It's not really their physical character that's in the game. It's like their player object. It's like their soul. Just think of it as their soul for now. The lighting controls general lighting, obviously. This includes things like the time of day and the brightness. Like the sun is right here in this position because that's what the lighting said to do. ServerScriptService. This is a place to hold all your regular scripts. We can also put them in Workspace. It doesn't really matter too much for the sake of learning. I think it's better practice to put them in ServerScriptService, but don't rely on me to do that every time because I'm just not. Okay, I'm just not going to do that. Don't rely on me to do the right thing because I will let you down. Server storage. This is for things that you want to use, but maybe not at every single moment you want it loaded in. Like maybe a map. You're having a round-based game that has different maps. You don't want every map to be loaded in. That's just making everybody laggy for no reason. You can store the maps in here, and then when you need them, move them to the physical world in Workspace. Let me show you with the part. Let's say this part represents the map, and we're in intermission right now. So we can just move this to server storage. And bam, it's not bothering anybody right now. It's not in the way, it's not visible. But when we're ready, oh, everybody voted for this map. Bam, we bring it back into the workspace. Pretty cool. Starter GUI. This is where you put GUIs, graphical user interface, which are those things that show up on your screen begging you to buy Robux. That's what goes here. You know what they are, you've seen them. We will learn more about these in the later videos, so if that's something that interests you, make sure you watch every single one of these videos all the way through 5 times, because you never know which one of those is going to be the one you want to watch, you know? Except if you read the title, you probably will. But anyways, in Roblox, there is a hierarchy. Objects are placed inside of each other, just like how the part is inside of Workspace. That means that Workspace is the parents of part, and the part is a child of Workspace. It's a parent-child relationship because we literally put it inside. You see how it's indented over? Everything that's indented over is a side of that. For example, if you look at Starter Player, these are indented, so those are inside of it. These are the children of Starter Player. If I move the part to be somewhere else, like I did earlier, if I move the part to server storage, now the part is a child of server storage. It's indented underneath that. Also, let's say for some reason this part is inside of this part, which is inside of Workspace. You could say that the second part that's inside of the part is a descendant of Workspace. Even though it's multiple generations down, it's the child of a child, it's still a descendant. And one last thing, it looks like every object has to be parented by a service. So like this part is inside of Workspace, or it's inside of a different service, or it's inside of another part, which eventually leads up to a service. So it might lead to the illusion that services are in charge, but they're really not. All of these services are children of a bigger thing called game, and you'll see how that's relevant in the future. I know I hate saying you'll see how this is important in the future. I hate when people do that, but this is the very beginning. Okay, relax, we'll get there. It'll all make sense very soon. Just keep that in mind, okay? You do that for me? Thanks.